What's up, my dudes? Today I would like to tell you about these new Alden for J. Crew 405 Indy boots in dark Kudu leather. Full disclosure, I would be lying if I didn't right off the bat admit that I'm a big fan of Alden Indies. About 15 years ago, when I first got a decent job and wanted to start upgrading my wardrobe, the Indy boot was by far my favorite purchase that I've made. And since I bought my first Indy boot, I've owned one or two since. Alden makes shoes for J. Crew every year. The makeups typically range from pretty good to oh no baby, what is you doing? This year, one makeup in particular really stood out to me. This is called the 405 Indy boot for J. Crew. I don't do a lot of history on my channel, but the 405 was the original Indy boot that was popularized by Harrison Ford in the Indiana Jones movies. So by naming convention, this is a 405, but there are a lot of differences, and in my opinion, this is what the 405 really should be. Let's talk about those differences though. The leather, in my opinion, is better. This is the Kudu leather, which is a heavily oiled Horween chrome excel leather. It's typically used on Alden's 404 Indy boot. It is much more wearable. It's less, hey look at my shoes, than the brown chrome excel typically found on the Alden 403, and it certainly slips under the radar. Much better than a spanking new pair of what is traditionally called the 405s, which are in calfskin. The other benefit of having Kudu leather is that the whole point is you don't really have to do anything with it, like cleaning or conditioning. At least that's what they tell me at Alden. I do not baby really anything I wear. Like, I'll wear shoe trees, but other than that, I don't really want to be bothered with much maintenance. So to me, this is a big plus. Some people say you should use neat's foot oil on Kudu every so many years. The number tends to vary. I personally didn't see a need after owning my last pair of 404 Kudu Indies, and I had them about 6 years. Your mileage may vary though. The laces. Let's talk about the laces. Alden makes premium shoes, but for some reason, they like putting garbage laces on them. And they actually know that. So for example, if you go into the Alden store, at least in DC, and say, hey man, my cloth laces got frayed, they'll just nod and give you a new pair of laces free of charge, because they know. These laces are waxed, and they seem like they'll last significantly longer. The welt is 360 degrees. Typically, Indies are 270 degrees. And there's some double stitching going on here, which you don't usually see with Indies. Even strictly from an aesthetic standpoint, that looks a lot better to me. The gold hardware, okay, hear me out. On the website, in pictures, I do not like the concept of gold hardware. I like low-key stuff. But with the dark Kudu leather, seeing these, holding these, wearing these in person now, it pops in a certain way that I wasn't really anticipating. And I do think it was the right choice for the makeup. It looks premium, but not pretentious, and that's a bullseye for me. This is kind of in the weeds here, but many previous Alden Indy collabs with J. Crew have omitted this particular stitch. This one doesn't. I wouldn't say I'm a purist, but I do like that stitch, so welcome back, stitch. Finally, the sole. Leather soles are nice on straight up dress shoes in my opinion, but the rubber partial commando sole we got going on here isn't loud on hard surfaces, it has more utility, and it will slip under the radar pretty well. Sizing wise, I went with an 11D. Here's a list of my sizes, I hope it helps somebody out there. If I had one complaint, and I'm not sure what was going on here, but there seems to be some kind of splotching on the front of both of these toe boxes. Maybe to darken a lighter part of the leather or something, I don't really know. It seems to have darkened the mock stitching, at least temporarily though. Truthfully, it doesn't even bother me enough to reach out to J. Crew about it, but it is something that I noticed. Okay, so let's talk about cash money, your hard-earned dollars. Alden generally ups their prices every year, much to the chagrin of a lot of their customers, understandably. I'm assuming they do it for a variety of reasons. So they're a handmade operation in the United States. Of course, inflation also likely plays a role. There was this weird scandal that happened with their CFO a few years ago. I'm not going down that rabbit hole here, feel free to Google it, but be warned, it's a wild ride. I paid final price to my door $474 for these. Yes, you heard that right. J. Crew allowed these fine specimens to be part of a 30% off discount code, and with a fake email sign up, I got another 15% off code that stacked. Side comment, you should never pay full price for literally anything from J. Crew, including the third-party stuff. But when I figured out that those two would stack, I felt like Vincent Vega opening the recovered briefcase in Pulp Fiction. But J.Crew does, in fact, allow at least some Aldens to be included on a discount code every now and then. Your best bet is to just check periodically if you're looking for something like this. Additionally, if you have Alden fever but don't really like the price, there are other options. Register with the Shoe Mart and you'll have access to view their factory seconds. In my experience, Shoe Mart factory seconds are virtually indistinguishable from first quality stuff that you'll get from Alden or whatever stockist you prefer. So there are different ways to assess the value of shoes. None of them are completely right and none of them are completely wrong either. Some people break them down into their constituent elements, make a calculation, and make a judgment based on that information. Some people are more focused on aesthetics because at the end of the day, heritage work boots are still kind of fashion items. Some people focus on comfort more than anything else. Some people value nostalgia, versatility, and some just go into YOLO mode and buy without assessing anything. I respect all of these and any combination. They're your views, your style is your style, and your money is your money. Be free. But that being said, I will offer that holding these in person, they do feel like, at full price, while expensive, are reasonably priced. And I'd go as far as saying that they seem like a better value than the original $405, even with the small price increase of the makeup. They are not for everyone, but they're for me. And I've recommended Aldens to friends who were in a position to pick up something like this more than a couple times. 2 of those friends have actually bought Indies and liked them a lot. Never heard any complaints. So this is running a little bit longer than usual. I'm going to wrap it up and say, by very definition of how I grade things, these are an A rating. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing, commenting, and I'll see you later. So what do you think? As always, feel free to speak your mind in the comments. Until next time, peace, my dudes.